Hi everyone and welcome to the second part of my Caribbean adventures. Today I'm in St. George's, Grenada, also known as the Spice Island or Caribbean Venice. Super excited to be here. Let's go find out what Grenada has to offer. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of my Caribbean series. This time I'm in Grenada, a country with turbulent past, abundance of natural beauty, rich heritage and warm hospitality. In this episode we're traditionally checking out country's popular beaches and its nature, taking a look at some of Grenada's landmarks, discovering some of the hidden gems island has to offer. Oh god! But most importantly, meeting amazing locals who make this place even more beautiful.
Look appetizing.
Very liming.
Before we begin, a quick look at the map to understand where we are. In the previous episode, I have described this region in more detail while visiting Antigua and Barbuda. Today, we are moving a bit more south. Grenada is another island country of the West Indies with population of about 120,000 and total area of about 350 square kilometers. Dominated by African descendants, this country is mostly Christian, with English being official language and East Caribbean dollar being its official currency. In this Caribbean series, I also take a quick look at countries' flags, as they look quite fascinating to me. Grenada is not an exception. The red color stands for courage and vitality, yellow for wisdom and sun, green for vegetation. Stars represent 7 parishes and of course the nutmeg ties Grenada to its reputation as a spice island. Also, take a look at the coat of arms of this country. There's a lot to unpack here, but I just wanted to highlight the armadillo and the Grenada dove, the two creatures you will see a lot on the island, as well as the Etang lake at the bottom, which we will visit later in this episode. I'd also like to pause for a second and proactively apologize for mispronouncing the name of this country. In some of my monologues throughout the episode, I referred to it as Grenada, and the correct name is Grenada. Thank you, Garvin. For now, we are all set. Please give me the thumbs up, comment your thoughts on this island, and let's dive right into it. Of course, being in the middle of the Caribbean Sea, the first thing we want to look at is island's pristine beaches. I'm at my first beach in Grenada, and it's probably one of the most popular ones. It's called Anse, and it's maybe 10-minute drive south of the capital, St. George's. So far, comparing to Antigua, and the reason I'm comparing it to Antigua is because Antigua was my first island, first country in the Caribbean region. And if you haven't seen that episode, I'm gonna post the link up here. Check it out. But having said that, I'm comparing Grenada beaches to Antigua, and so far I find them a bit worse. I liked Antigua beaches much more. However, having said that, this is my first beach on the island, and I hope it gets a little better. However, I don't have my hopes up because this was recommended and as one of the better or best beaches on the island. So I don't really have hopes up, but I truly hope I am wrong. We'll see what happens. And please don't get me wrong here, it is still a spectacular beach. It is just I was spoiled with Antigua's postcard-like beaches, hence the bar was set very high. Grand Anse is considered as one of the most beautiful in the Caribbean. This is a 2-mile stretch of white sand and turquoise water. It is located in the St. George's Parish, which is a highly rated area to stay in Grenada. As a result, there are many resorts and attractions around. Probably one of the reasons why I rated it slightly below my Antigua's experience. But again, it is my subjective opinion. Just like in case with Antigua and Barbuda, the access to the beach here is free and it is open 24/7. Grand Anse also offers lots of vegetation, abundance of palm and almond trees, as well as a spectacular views of the St. George's Parish, including its capital. We came here closer to sunset and had a relatively quiet time enjoying a beautiful evening.
They were the second beach in Grenada, and this one is called Mourne Rouge, just next to Grand Anse Beach, the one that we went to yesterday. This one seems to be more commercial and just more stuff going on, or maybe just the time of the day. But overall, very cool experience. A lot of young people just having fun and partying. And we're just chilling.
Although slightly more crowded relative to Grand Anse, Mourne Rouge felt cozier. It is probably has to do with the fact that it is much smaller. This half-a-mile white sand beach is perfect for families as well as young crowds. Its shallow waters and lazy, for the lack of the better word, waves is ideal for swimming here. Mourne Rouge is located just south of Grand Anse and is somewhat off the beaten path. Locally, it is also referred to as BBC. To be quite honest with you, I'm not sure why. And what's supposed to set it apart from others is its uncrowded and unspoiled nature. Honestly, I'm not sure about this, as there are plenty of villas and resorts on the surrounding hills, and we saw a bunch of American kids having a time of their lives on the opposite side of the beach. Surprisingly though, everything about Mourne Rouge just harmonically blends together, which makes it a cozy and unique place to spend an unforgettable day here. To conclude the topic of my experience at the beach here, let's take a look at one of the most charming places, the Magazine Beach. Although there is a big resort right beside it, I had the most authentic experience here as the beach is fairly secluded and surrounded by lush vegetation. In addition, our visit here coincided with locals having a family outing, which complemented to the charm of Magazine Beach. Fun fact or a pro tip, this beach is located very close to the airport, so in case your flight gets delayed, now you know where to come and kill time. The capital of Grenada, St. George's, was absolutely spectacular. It is surrounded by a hillside of an old volcano crater and is located on a horseshoe-shaped stunning harbor with colorful buildings and boats scattered around. The town has developed in recent years while preserving its history, and part of this history was our next stop here, the famous Fort George.
Just like in case with Antigua, Grenada has its own forts, and probably one of the most prominent ones is Fort George. It was initially called Fort Royal, and it was called that way by French who came here in 1600s. Eventually, when English took over this island, they renamed it to Fort George after King George III. Now, this fort has a lot of history, and some of this history is somewhat cruel.
Specifically, this fort was used as a prison, and a lot of people were executed here. However, one of the most prominent figures that was executed here was one of the most famous Grenadians, Maurice Bishop, and he was basically a revolutionary who came to power in 1970s. Controversial figure, known for its ties with communists, with Cuba, with East Germany, with Soviet Union back in the day. However, he did quite a bit of good for Grenadians, and even the airport here is called after him. However, if you can see right behind me on this square, the executions were happening, and in 1983, when the coup was taken place in this country, Maurice Bishop was overthrown and he was captured and eventually executed here. So this fort has seen quite a lot, and being here has a mixed feeling. However, you should still visit this because just like in case with Antigua, it's a historical landmark. It has a lot of history for Grenadians. It's very important, and as a bonus you got spectacular views of the capital, St. George, as well as the Caribbean Sea.
The fort has preserved most of its 18th century structure, and it is very well maintained. As we walked around here, we saw stone-walled bastions, tunnels and lookouts. The fort's layout, including the heavy cannons and thick stone defenses, showcases its primary purpose as a military stronghold.
Another interesting thing that we noticed here on the island is all these landmarks, they have a fee, a small fee, but still they cost money to visit. However, when we come early in the morning, they are all open and no one really collects any fees. And then we notice when we leave and the tour buses come, the ticket office opens right away and like people start paying it. So maybe try to come early here and then you'll avoid any entrance fees. I'm not sure what's going on, let me know. Another bonus for coming in early is that once again you got this place to yourself. There's absolutely no one here. Beautiful views, we're the only one here. Got in for free, and we're about to leave, and I'm pretty sure in about half an hour is gonna be crowds of people from the cruise ship coming in to do their tour here.
Fort George is more than just an old military outpost. It is a site of immense historical importance, a reminder of Grenada's resilient past and national pride. Grenada's capital city, St. George's, is widely considered to be one of the prettiest towns in the Caribbean region, and part of the reason is its authenticity and beautiful harbor. We came here early in the morning. However, during the day it is filled with locals. You'll see fishermen preparing their boats, food vendors selling local food, and just locals going about their daily lives. Along the harbor you will notice many local restaurants and bars, and atop a beautiful cathedral of the Immaculate Conception. Unfortunately, we did not spend enough time here, but I think getting lost around St. George's Hills and its beautiful narrow streets would be a lot of fun.
It's 5:30 in the morning. Perfect weather. I think we're gonna go for a little hike. We're gonna go to the middle of the island today. On Grenada, there is this lake called Lake Etang, which is supposed to be like a sacred lake, and we're gonna attempt to hike around it. But let's see how the roads are, because it was raining for a couple of days. Hopefully, no issues. We're here at the lake Etang. I hope I pronounced it correctly. Very significant lake in Grenada. I'm not sure why, because there are quite a few legends, but when we got here, it's a bunch of signs that says that you're not allowed to swim here, you're not allowed to fish. We're not attempting to do that. We're only taking photos and leaving footprints. But it would be interesting to know why, like why this lake so sacred. Is it does it have to do with the natives back in the day, or does it have to do with just it's being national park? If you know, let me know. But having said that, the highest mountain in Grenada is called Qua, and you can actually hike towards it from here, from the Lake Etang, and that's what we're going to attempt to do. We got here early in the morning, there's no one here, and the day seems to be really nice, so we're going to attempt this hike, and we'll keep you posted. Surrounded by a rainforest, the lake is located in the old crater. It is about 500 meters above the sea level. It is the centerpiece of the Grand Etang National Park, which was established in early 1900s on the island of Grenada. This park has an area of approximately 36 acres and is known for its biodiversity that includes tropical birds, rich vegetation, and armadillos. Remember Grenada's coat of arms that I talked about at the beginning of this video? Most of the stuff on it can be found in this area. And of course, what brought us here is the famous hike to the Mount of Qua, which we have attempted to do. But even though it was sunny outside, the 2 days of heavy rain did the damage to the trail, and we had to retreat. Do you hate me?
Sometimes.
She definitely hates me right now. After an unsuccessful attempt at Etang Lake, we were determined to find another trail on this island. And so we did.
We're soon to be approaching our first stop on the hike, so-called Sisters Waterfalls. So we're passing through some little community, a little village, and should be there in about 20 minutes.
Again, we were faced with somewhat muddy trail, and one of us wasn't really fond of it.
Sorry. Here, will you use my shirt?
No.
Rainforest in the morning, the best way to start your day.
Mud aside, the hike was actually pretty nice. Refreshing rainforest with many bamboo trees on the way. After about 15 minutes, we reached this small river, and then this happened.
Alright, if I fall in the water, I'm gonna be miserable.
You're gonna be okay.
I'm gonna be miserable all day if I fall in the water.
You're gonna be okay. Just don't sweat.
Yes, I was this close to smashing my face against the rock.
Oh God.
Oh no!
Holy Be careful.
I'm worried about your snow. I think your backpack got a little wet. Just take the shoes.
Well, that was a hike and a half, but we're here, and what seemed to be like a small little waterfall at first. Once you got here, you got the little surprise. There's another one right above it, and it looks actually justifiable for this hike. Looks good, and we're alone, it's the best. So we're gonna go for a little swim now. Actually, extremely nice experience, especially because it's only two of us here, and it feels great. You come here in the morning, you got the whole thing to yourself, and it's actually quite amazing. It's in the middle of a rainforest, and look, there's a bigger one there, Juan swimming down there. It's a great morning. Arrive early because the cruise ship come and the place is just full of people. So we had a great time alone, but now we're out. Arrive early.
The Caribbean is known for production of two beloved commodities, chocolate and rum. Both are deeply rooted in the history and culture of the islands. And what would have been a better place to try it than the legendary Spice Island itself? This brings us to Belmont Estate. This 17th century plantation offers a very unique and authentic experience into organic farming, tree-to-table chocolate making, history and heritage, but most importantly, interaction with amazing people who work here on the property.
Wasi. Yeah. See? Look at that. My lovely Grenadians.
I'm in the northern part of the island today, specifically at so-called Belmont Estate. Basically a complex where you can experience Grenada's culture and see a chocolate factory here. This was originally a coffee plantation, and it was bought in 1920s, and now it's a great place to come and enjoy different types of activities here. They have everything from live animals to chocolate factory to nutmeg cultivation, and it is quite interesting, and I am excited to see what it's all about.
Our goal at Belmont Estate was learning about the production of chocolate, and I must say the young man did a spectacular job taking us on this journey. The Caribbean association with chocolate dates back to indigenous Maya and Arawak cultures. The production begins with cocoa trees cultivated on small farms like this.
This is your cocoa, but this is how they start. Those little flower turns into this. Get to this.
The trees produce the beans embedded in a sweet pulp.
Look appetizing.
The next step is
Fermentation.
It is a key step for the beans to develop their flavor. Once fermented, the beans are dried and roasted, and finally ground into a chocolate liquor.
Bottom is more like chocolate. Wanna try? You'll be having chocolate feet at the end, 3-foot massage. May not get another chance to walk on chocolate.
Did you say walk on chocolate? Say no more, young man. During the wet season, there is an alternative.
Instead of the ladies walking, they're gonna use this now. And they will just push and pull again every half an hour. Nutmeg would take 10 or more years to grow. Cocoa is 4 or 5. What I can tell you I see happening on the island. After Hurricane Ivan, we've been having loads of chocolate factory. One before Ivan, now there are 6. So I think cocoa is striving.
The property had a small museum with old artifacts and old machinery used to produce chocolate. We were given some hot chocolate to taste and continued our tour. The final stop here is the chocolate factory itself, where you get to try different kinds of product and take a quick look into the lab itself.
And we age it in the aging room for 3 months. Available for samples: caramel, cocoa butter, roasted milk powder, sugar, vanilla. Silky dark milk, 60% milk chocolate. That's 60% cocoa nibs, 40% milk and sugar.
We tried different types of chocolate offered to us and decided to get some for the road. The story of chocolate production at Belmont Estate was completed.
So we just completed our tour here at Belmont Estate. I must say it was quite interesting, quite entertaining. But I guess the people who were helping us, there were 2 gentlemen, I guess made it so much better because they were so educated and they were so nice about it, you know, that the whole experience was just great.
But as I've mentioned before, this place is not just about chocolate tour. There are so many other cool things you can do here. For example, learn how to harvest coconuts and then drink it.
Thank you so much.
If anyone needs help with harvesting coconuts,
There is also a self-sustained farm here where you can feed the local goats.
Here, Brody.
You can also make friends with locals and learn local slang here.
A Grenadian slang is, for example, where we liming, which means where are we hanging out. Wago means what's up, how are you. Jamaicans say wagwan and Grenadians say wago.
Wago.
Yes. A wase.
Wase.
Yeah. See? Look at that. My lovely Grenadians.
Perfect, thank
What
you.
else? Yeah.
And what is your name?
My name? JD Bisesar.
Oh, and did I mention a talking parrot?
Bye. Bye, Rainbow.
This place is just so amazing. Like, people are incredible here. We were like making friends, laugh and riot. Such a great experience. I highly recommend this place. They have a parrot that's talking. Our friend just brought us some coconuts. Incredible experience.
Coconut flesh.
And
An orange. Thank you.
We just finished at the Belmont Estate.
what was supposed to be just a quick tour became an experience, very authentic local experience. So we're super happy and we highly recommend. Another commodity this part of the world is known for is rum. In a very close proximity to Belmont Estate, there is another estate that specializes on rum production. Established in 1785, it is a unique place where rum is being made an old-fashioned way. The name of this place is River Antoine, and as the name suggests, it comes from the nearby river that is being utilized in production of rum here.
Leads us to in the Western Hemisphere, we're the only estate that has a water-powered wheel from the year 1785 up to this present day.
The canal system has been built to store the water into special reservoirs. The water runs through the aqueducts and falls onto the wheel, which in turn initiates the grinding machine, where the sugarcane is being processed. The sugarcane itself is being sorted by hands, and here's the reason why.
Because for every machine we buy, someone loses their job. That's how we make rum the old-fashioned way. And the workers is going to take it and place it onto this belt, which is called a conveyor belt. It is also powered by the water wheel. So the conveyor belt is going to take the sugar cane into the grinder to be crushed or squeezed. The juice falls underneath and runs inside of the boiling house to be concentrated. The responsible for inventing this machine is G. Fletcher and Company from London and Derby. They are also responsible for making Rolls Royce today. Okay, so the sugar cane is then placed into the grinder to get crushed. The juice falls underneath and runs through this pipe and goes into the boiling house to get concentrated. Waste, or the pulp, in local terms we say bagasse, is then loaded onto a cart, pushed outside to be dried by the sun, and then goes back into the field as manure or compost. So nothing is wasted.
Right.
We also have to evaporate some of the water from it, because in the rainy season we get a lot of juice from the sugar cane, but the sugar content is very low. In the dry season, which is summertime, we get less juice, but the right amount of sugar content.
The next stop is the fermentation room. Here, sugarcane liquid sits for a while and then being filtered.
This is actually the river water. We use it as a cooling system. So 600 gallons of fermented fluid flows from the fermentation room into this tank, which is called a preheater or heat exchanger. The company only bottles at 75% or 69%. But what actually happens is that there are times you're going to get it at 90% of alcohol or 95% of alcohol. But what we do, we add mineral water to dilute it to get it at 75% or 69%. So we don't bottle it at 90%, which we normally get. To test the strength of the alcohol are two instruments which we call hydrometers. We need to get it at 75% or 69%. So we're going to use mineral water and dilute it. Placed in boxes and out of supply.
Everything is done by hand.
Everything is done by hand. For every machine we buy, someone loses their job. That's why we make rum the old-fashioned way.
I like it.
Yeah. This is 69%, which is the one you can travel with. This is 75%, which is illegal to get onto the plane with. Two reasons why we don't export our rum. One, it is too strong. Our strongest is 75%, which is 150 proof. As you know, after 9/11, any alcohol that is actually 70% and over is considered to be an explosive on the plane. So that is one of the reasons why we don't export. The second reason why we don't export, the demands within our country is too high. We cannot supply everyone. Guess as much people in my country is having a drinking problem.
To the good part now.
Yeah. My favorite part.
There's water.
Good, no?
Yeah. Tastes like 69%.
Let's try the 75%, which is
Oh my God.
150 proof.
Now there's more.
75%.
75%.
Cheers.
Chin chin.
It's actually not smooth.
It is smoother.
Say thank you very much for visiting us today. Hope to see you back here again.
Thank you,
If you want
boss.
to make a purchase, you can do so on the inside.
Thank you so much.
You're
It
welcome.
was great.
Thank you.
After wrapping up our adventures on the east coast, we've headed back. One of the island's hidden gems is located off the coast of Molinier Point. If you have a chance to drive by the coast when you're coming from the north into St. George's, the east coast looks beautiful. You pass through so many cool towns, or villages rather, and you're literally driving by the water, so highly recommend this drive. Funny enough, I have made a wrong turn while going here, which led to discovering another hidden gem on this island, but we'll get to it in a minute. For now, with some help of the locals, we rented a boat and headed towards Grenada's underwater sculpture park. Constructed in 2006 by British Jason Taylor, it is an exhibit of 75 sculptures. Allegedly, the park was built to help protect the reef and maintain the health of ecosystem. The sculptures are constructed from concrete and bolted to the seafloor. The park lures divers of all sorts with special tours that come here. Unfortunately, we weren't as prepared as we came with the local fishermen and did our best to catch it on video. Here's the actual photo of it. And although things didn't fully work out with the underwater park, we found another gem here. It is this gentleman who goes by name Garvin. Thank you so much, my love.
My name is Garvin.
Vitali. To Grenada.
To Grenada.
God bless.
It's a beautiful
I
island.
met so many great Grenadians today.
Grenadians are very warm.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, they're very warm, and thank God, warm-spirited.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like.
Yeah, he drove the car into a little bit of a ditch today, and then I started freaking out. I was like, "Oh my God! Like we can't call CAA. What are we gonna do?" And then 4 Grenadians came running out of all directions, and they came and lifted the car.
And push your ass out.
And I didn't know people could lift the car.
All you gotta do is just buy them a drink. They're not here to.
Cheers.
Thank you. He helped us with the boat, treated us with drinks, and was a great company sharing stories about the island. At some point, Garvin invited us over to his house, where we met his family and spent our final hours on this island. The island where the real treasure is its people, and the island that will always live in my heart. Stay adventurous, stay safe, and stay loud.
And always remember, come to Grenada.
Come to Grenada. I'll see you on the next island. Ciao.
Cristiano Ronaldo.